All right, checking back in on the big rotten apple, New York City, and de Blasio 2.0 back in black. Eric Adams has been mayor for just over a month now, and I'm sure he's doing an absolutely amazing job. Now, I wasn't there for the first 4 to 6 weeks of de Blasio, and I'm certainly not there for the first 4 to 6 weeks of Adams, but it's hard for me to imagine a man even as awful as de Blasio doing much worse than this. If you look at these headlines, you will see that the entire city, if not the whole state of New York, continues to devolve into complete chaos. And this is by design. It is a managed decline built to enrich the progressive political establishment, or whatever you want to call them. So first we have Mayor Eric Adams says allowing non-citizens to vote for New York City elections is, quote, best choice. So I guess no matter where I'm at in the world, I should be able to vote in New York City elections. And they use the phrase non-citizens when obviously they mean illegal immigrants, but that makes sense because they love illegal activity in New York. They cater to criminals. And I think it's illegal to refer to an illegal immigrant as an illegal immigrant or an illegal alien in New York. So go ahead and wrap your head around that. And Adams later went on to refer to himself as the Biden of Brooklyn, as they both continue to traffic brand new Democratic voters across the country. And I'm not sure if Adams is aware that most people don't actually like Joe Biden, so I don't know why he would call himself that. Then we have this: deranged man pushes Asian woman to death at Times Square subway station. And unfortunately, the Stop Asian Hate rallying cry is a little bit too 2020, maybe a little bit 2021, but definitely not 2022. That was far more than 4 or 5 days ago, as Joe Biden would say. So I don't think we have to worry about this one too much. And I'm also not certain why it really matters that she was Asian, because she was pushed in front of a train by a crazy person, but I'll move on. We have this: Eric Adams can hire his brother, but at salary of $1, not $210,000. Okay, so he was going to hire his brother on a salary of $210,000, but it got a little bit of backlash, so he backed off, and now his brother is off the books with a salary of $1 annually, and I'm sure this is better for everybody involved anyways. Then we have this, perhaps the saddest story, or most definitely the saddest story of them all, and not to take anything away from the woman that was pushed in front of a train, but 11-month-old baby girl shot in the face in the Bronx. So an 11-month-old was hit by a stray bullet in the Bronx. Meanwhile, some other kids were being dragged out of a museum and kicked out of Applebee's or Olive Garden for failure to show their papers. And while that's all happening, they are still threatening to remove workers who refuse to get the shot. New York City's unvaccinated workforce faces February 11th termination without proof of shots. So Adams continues to say that he's all about the health and safety of New Yorkers and that he works with the police, but meanwhile, he's just acting as a henchman for the big pharmafia and walking in lockstep with a completely corrupt Soros-appointed district attorney. Shopping cart set ablaze on New York City subway. Third fire on same train line within week. Cops. So I'm sure that people setting shopping carts and other things on fire inside of train cars is just a cause of Rona, and it's nothing that a little bit of that science serum can't solve. But then we have this: MTA honors 4 security officers who extinguished New York City subway fire. So they are being honored for, stepping up and fighting this fire. And I think it's pretty funny that if cops would have done this, or if security guards or cops went to stop a shoplifter from an Upper West Side Rite Aid, they wouldn't be honored at all. It goes on. Microwave on tracks, fires inside train cars, our latest disruptions on subway. So oddly enough, microwaves are now being thrown onto the tracks, and unfortunately, this isn't new. Shopping carts, city bikes, and unfortunately, people have been thrown onto the tracks. But again, this is just because of Rona, I'm sure. So you can get the shot at a station and you can get tested under the tracks, and I'm sure it will all go away. But while this is all happening, Mayor Eric Adams goes to dinner with former Governor Cuomo. New York City mayor defends dinner with disgraced ex-governor Cuomo. So why is he meeting with the former governor Andrew Cuomo, who was removed from office under pressure by his own party. And then he has the nerve, Adams that is, has the nerve to say, well, I still feel like he should have stepped down. So you were part of the people pressuring him to quit, and then you go meet with him and just say, well, I'm looking for advice from everybody on how to govern. So you go to talk to the disgraced former governor who was molesting women and killing seniors. You look to him to see how to govern the city. It seems like something else is going on there, but that's just me. And then we have this. New York City students speak out about first vegan Friday lunches. And surprise, surprise, the lunches were not actually vegan. So Adams introduced, or maybe it was de Blasio, I'm not quite sure who introduced this vegan Fridays in an effort to further indoctrinate kids into this NWO climate crisis, eat the bugs or die diet with this vegan Fridays. And then it turns out it's not actually vegan because there was cheese in it. And lastly, Adams boasts about being better than, quote, cracker officers in resurfaced video. So this obviously doesn't matter because this type of stuff only works in one direction, but it goes without saying if another politician of a different race had said something similar, they would be up on charges already because racism and not getting the shot or not wearing a mask are literally, okay, outside of murder, the only crimes that are being prosecuted in New York. And in Adams' defense, if you watch the video, I think he did kind of use a, cracker with an A and not the hard R. So, kudos to him on that. But this is actually amazing because the guy who leaked the video, his name is Thomas Lopez Pierre. He is the CEO of BLM Real Estate Forum, whatever that is. He says that he's had the footage for a long time, but didn't put it out because he didn't want to jeopardize Adams' chance at the mayor's office. And he is putting it out now, or he put it out now because he doesn't like the mayor's stance on police reform, which is absolutely insane because Eric Adams hasn't taken a stand on police reform at all. He's not trying to clean up the crime at all. He's literally working with a Soros-appointed district attorney to harass unvaccinated New Yorkers and let criminals run wild. So I'd say he's done pretty good in his first 6 weeks.